Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys something very special to me. I am showing you guys my Guru Control deck profile. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Starting off, of course, we do run 3 copies of Subterra Guru. This card says that if it is flipped face up, you can search for any Subterra card you control. And it also has another effect where you can target one other card on the field, flip that target face down, and then you can flip itself face down. And then continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Subterra Fiendus. This card is practically a hand trap, saying that if you control a face-up Subterra monster, if your opponent activates a card effect, you can negate it, and then you can flip that your Subterra monster face down. This card also has another effect that if it is face up on the field, you can flip any Subterra monster you control to special summon one from the graveyard. So usually you would summon this to flip it face down, summon out either another Fiendus or the Guru, and its effect that makes it kind of a hand trap can also be activated on the field, kind of similar to Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. That's it for the Subterra monsters. We don't really run anything else for that. We don't really need to. But continuing on to the actual hand traps, you run 3 copies of Dimensional Shifter. This card practically, it beats most of the meta right now, because sprites and tier elements without their graveyard can't really do too much. Continuing on, I do run 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Really good card, just negates your opponent's monster effect. And then I do run 3 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This card says, reveal this card in your hand until the end of your opponent's turn. It protects all your face down cards, whether that be spell, trap, or monster. And then it also has another effect. If a set spell or trap card is activated, you can then special summon this card and then set any spell or trap from your deck, which really comes up. Very useful effect. You can add more to the hand trap lineup. I just couldn't really find space because I did want to keep this a 42 card list. There are some cards I might cut, so I can try to run like Ash Blossom or something like that. Because I also would like to run Infinite Impermanence. I just couldn't find too much space in the deck because it is very tight. But continuing on, I do of course run 1 Dark Magician and 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. And that is for Dragoon, because you can actually play Dragoon and still go full combo with the deck, quote unquote combo, because it says you cannot normal summon the card. However, you can set the Guru, flip the Guru, and still be able to activate Red Eyes Fusion. Talking about Red Eyes Fusion, you of course want to run 3 copies to try to maximize being able to see this card in your opening hand, because we do not run Verte Anaconda, obviously because it's banned. But even then, you didn't want to play it before, again, this deck, before the deck really got, before Verte Anaconda got hit. To wrap up these fusion cards, I do run 1 copy of Instant Fusion. I can show you the targets later on, but we only run 1 copy of that. Continuing on with the spell cards, we do, of course, run 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. I personally would run Pot of Prosperity in this deck, however, in place of this, however, I do not have my Prosperities yet. I ordered them in the mail, but they have not come in yet. So I would definitely run Pot of Prosperity, but if you can't, Extravagance works fine too. You just mainly don't want to banish your instant fusion targets. Continuing on, we run 3 copies of the Hidden City. This card says that it can be, that when it's activated, you can search for 1 Subterra monster and add it to your hand. Then once per turn, you can change 1 monster you control to face down position to negate an attack, I believe. Yes, when you to negate your opponent's attack. It also has another effect that says that you can flip 1 face down card you control, like 1 face down defense position, Subterra monster you control, to face up attack or defense position. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the effect of that. Really good. However, I also do run 1 copy of Mystic Mine. Yeah, I know. Y'all can say it in the comments. I don't like this card either, but you kind of have to play it in this deck. And then I run 1 copy of Necro Valley, mainly for decks that would require to move cards from the graveyard, like Sprite, for instance, or Tearlament. And then to wrap up for the field spell stuff, I run 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 copy of Set Rotation. Main thing is you want to give your opponent Necro Valley, and you give yourself Mystic Mine, or you can give your opponent Necro Valley to get your own Hidden Valley. Really good. And then I run 1 copy of Metaverse to wrap up the Field Spell segment. Continuing on, I do run 2 copies of Subterra Final Battle. This card has 4 effects. This says that you can change 1 Subterra monster on the field to face up attack or defense position if it was set. Then it has another effect that says you can change 1 face up Subterra monster on your field to face down defense position. It has another effect that comes up a lot. It says you can target 1 face up, like the attack and defense of one Subterra monster you control. Like, technically you don't even have to control it, just 1 Subterra monster on the field. Its attack and defense become the equal of both. So, like, let's say you had, let's go ahead and say that you had Guru. The attack and defense of your monster would then become 1600 plus 1800, so that's 3400. And then you can use that to get over monsters, or if it's set and your opponent flipped it up in attack, you can just make your monster stronger and hopefully protect your monster. Continuing on, I do run 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. This card just says that you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your side of the field, but its effects are negated, and then you can banish 1 monster from both players' fields that have the same type as the other person. So pretty much, let's say your opponent were to summon Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. You chain this, you can summon their, let's say you summon their Dasher, you banish the Dasher, banish their DPE, or you can just keep the Dasher on fields. That's just an example. Of course, there are other options. And then, of course, this deck does run Floodgates. I hate to say it, but we do run Floodgates. We kind of have to. So we run 3 copies of Summon Limit to make it to where both players can only summon twice per turn. And then we run 2 copies of There Can Be Only One. Honestly, I wouldn't change this. I like the way that this is. I may cut the Ice Dragon's Prisons to kind of run other hand traps, but I'm not entirely sure at the moment. This is just a temporary build. There are other things that we can do. Continuing on, because we do run the Waking the Dragon in the graveyard, like in the side deck, we do run 3 copies of The Last Warrior from Another Planet, 3 Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, 2 Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, 2 Beals the Diabolic Dragons, then 1 copy of Psyframe Lord Omega. You can practically run anything you want in these spots. I would probably even cut the Omega, however, I think that if you want to run something else. But I think that's pretty good. Continuing on, of course we do run the 1 copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for the negate and the destruction effect. Then we run the Predaplant level 5 that came out recently. It pretty much says when it's summoned you can search for a fusion card. So you can activate this, search for Red Eyes Fusion, and then continue your plays from there. Then we, of course, run 1 copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict and 1 copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict. If you have it, I would suggest cutting the Psyframe Lord Omega for the Relinquished Anima. So, like, the Relinquished Anima, so that way you can, like, summon this, take your opponent's monster, summon the Relinquished, take another monster. Really good. And then continuing on to the side deck, you want to run 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. You can, pretty much the side deck, you can run anything you want. I just like Lancia because my locals, there are players who do play Floowandereeze and stuff like that. Then I run 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, 3 copies of Lightning Storm for going second, 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and then I actually forgot that I left it in a different deck. We do run 3 copies of Waking the Dragon. It's pretty much a trap card that says if it is destroyed or banished by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon any monster from either the deck or the graveyard. Not graveyard, either the deck or the extra deck without cost. Alright guys, so that's about it for the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment down below the deck you'd like to see next. Be sure to go check out my Twitter. It is going to be linked down in the description. And I think that's about it. See ya.